So, Mads, what are we looking at here?
So Command and Conquer Renegade. It's I knew what I was going into. I haven't played it before, but I actually remember reading a lot about this back in the day because I loved Command and Conquer, the real-time strategy
Mm.
game. So Renegade is the same universe, the same units, same style, but it's a first-person shooter. and,
Hmm.
and and something that seems a bit like a tactical kind of first-person shooter because it's as you'll see here, I just started the campaign, the main campaign, no training, so it's very mission based, and in the middle of the mission it will give you little sub goals and so on and so forth. But it really does look of its time, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I was just looking at the fact that the animation on the feet as they're walking doesn't match up with their movement.
Nope.
So it's like they're walking, but they're not moving at the right speed.
And we're in 2002 here. So
Yeah.
yeah, this may even be a bit worse than what you'd expect in 2002. Maybe that's why Command and Conquer Renegade never made it that big.
There's a couple of reasons for it, and yeah, it's not really a game that was completely up to the standards of the time.
No.
As far as I understand the story, it was in development hell for a while.
Okay.
And you can tell that it wasn't made by a team that was really. I don't think the team that made it had any experience making FPSs before
Okay.
this. I mean, it's Westwood Studios. They'd never done an FPS before. And
No.
I'm not sure if this was done internally by them or by an outside party, but I think it was an internal Westwood team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one enemy was weird. I mean, he took forever to kill. I shot and shot and shot at him before he died. And everybody else I'm shooting the rest of these 7 minutes. They die quite quickly. But yeah, but still, 2002. It's an okay shooter. It feels good to play. One thing that feels weird nowadays when you're used to playing a bit more modern shooters and even some of the older shooters is that your movement. Have a look how smooth it is. There's
Mm.
no simulation of you taking steps or anything like that. You're just like sliding through the environment, and that
Mm.
feels a bit weird today. But apart from that, lots and lots of nice details. For example, in a second, I'm gonna jump into that tank there and drive it and shoot stuff with it, which feels really
Mm.
good. And for 2002, that's pretty good. I know Halo was released about this same time as well, and
Yeah.
that of course had the different vehicles you could drive and so as well. But back in 2002, I'd like to say that was quite new.
Oh, very, very.
Mm.
I mean, we had a few things like it the year before. We had No One Lives Forever,
Yeah.
where you could ride a handful of vehicles. But also, the big thing is here the number of different units that are on the map.
Mm.
I mean, this is not usual for an FPS at this point,
Nope.
that you have these recognizable units, and that was part of the allure. I mean, I played this quite extensively, and I
Okay.
was not a Command and Conquer player.
Okay.
I tried Command and Conquer 1, and it was too similar to Dune 2 for me, and I was just like, done this, played this, I moved on.
Yeah.
But I found the idea fascinating, and this wasn't the first game that tried this in this era. There was this whole movement of publishers trying to figure out how to leverage the game worlds
Mm.
to create a larger variety of game experiences around them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
This definitely for a Command and Conquer player like me. I mean, I am more of a I love Dune 2. That's probably my favorite Westwood real-time strategy game as well. I was more of a Blizzard fan when it came to real-time strategy games, but I still played a lot of Command and Conquer, and this gave me all the warm and fuzzy feelings of getting into that environment again, and lots of little sound clips that they've reused, for example, just makes me smile, and yeah, it's I can definitely see myself just trying to play through this actually because I enjoyed it, and 7 minutes is not a lot to play something that is a first-person mission-based first-person shooter with the story being told and so on, but. There was already in the beginning of the next mission, I think, some promising pickups like tactical weapons that you can place, and then what do they call? Are they ion cannons? There's this orbital cannon system, I think, in Command and Conquer that you can shoot. There's different stuff, lots of different ways of getting through the missions and the objectives. It seems. So
Yeah, and then there's also some stealth elements later on once you go inside the buildings.
oh yeah, and the sniper rifle actually later on I get a sniper rifle is quite good, especially for that time. I mean,
Yeah,
sniper rifles is something they've perfected these days. I mean, it's almost always for me at least, the most fun way of dispatching with enemies in first-person shooters.
yeah. And this is why I really got into it. I kind of liked the idea that it felt, to me at least, and I mean the reviewers at the time kind of disagreed. They were seeing it, in comparison with all these other big FPSs, but I saw it as an interesting experience because it really felt like there was a much bigger world going on around you.
Yeah, exactly.
And most FPSs, it's like you are the hero. You're the only one doing anything. And here it felt more like you're just the one grunt. Yeah, you're doing big, important things, but there's still this entire war mechanism happening simultaneously.
You are the commando unit from Command and Conquer. I think that's actually first introduced in Red Alert, isn't it? But you are the commando, and even to an extent where I'm actually, I think I cut off this video a bit before that, maybe just 10 seconds before that, but I even reused some of the graphics from the old Command and Conquer games, introducing some of the levels. So you'll suddenly be at a top-down view, and you'll see the commando unit being placed and start running into the mission, and then you swoop down to the third-person view and start, or maybe first-person view, of course, and start shooting stuff.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's been 20 years since I played it, but yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if that's what they did. And that was the thing. It's that, I guess, the idea, and this hasn't been explored enough, I think, by other games. Obviously, Blizzard did it with World of Warcraft and their aborted point-and-click adventure in the Warcraft universe, but to expand the universe through alternative game mechanics is something that I really think more companies should be looking into. It just feels right. I mean, it works for licensed properties. I mean, look at all the different types of genres that we get out of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, true.
Or Marvel characters and stuff.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
This was definitely an interesting take on the Command and Conquer universe and the whole Nod versus GDI conflict. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame that it didn't pick up more steam, and that it's not available.
It's being hyped a lot back in the day, and then largely forgotten after release.
Yeah, it got mediocre reviews. I mean, they were okay, but it was like, And the problem is, I think, and this is probably the big issue, and we'll have to talk about it on the podcast more, but that the people who were Command and Conquer fans were not necessarily going to be FPS fans.
Oh, true.
And the FPS fans were looking at it going, I don't know any of this background information. That's maybe the big problem, which it works if you're doing it with an outside property that people are familiar with, but it's probably not going to work with a property that is exclusively a gaming property.
Yeah, could be.
But, well.
Oh, well.
Okay, let's get back to the show.